Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment.
Hello, guys. Welcome once again to another recap and review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And today we're going to be talking about episode 10 of the season 8. But before we go ahead and talk about the episode, what will you guys rate this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I was interested. They had me intrigued. I mean, it was a lot of I knew it for me.
Yeah. What about you, show rating?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It was okay. Yeah, it was okay. Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was not as yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, especially at the end with the Fletchers. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was very good. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the episode. We started the episode with Nell going to Chris's office and they advertised the company, the realty company. The fact I wanted to ask, I don't know whether it's just me that have forgotten. Has there been any time that Melody advertised seven events and adventure in the show? Because every other person I've seen on this season, literally their business is always coming up. They're always showing their businesses, telling us the names of their businesses, but I've not really seen Melody's business come out. So I wanted to ask, has anybody, maybe I've forgotten, has there been any time that Melody's business has ever come up on the show or the season?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I would say so. The property preservation. Do you remember? I think that was last
Oh
season.
yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah,
was
you're
taking
right.
her students on a tour.
Mm-hmm.
And then this season for the
Oh,
Valentine's Day with her girls, where they were showing the products on the table, and I think they were talking about how they worked. The Seventh Avenue at
um,
remember she had her friends over her house for Valentine's Day,
yeah.
and the products were on the
Oh,
table, and yeah, they were talking about
okay.
how to use it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Okay, now, because I kept on trying to remember, but my brain was not really recovering and remembering whether there was any time that we saw that kind of stuff. But anyway, going back to the whole thing, we saw Destiny and we saw Melody. Sorry, we saw Nell visiting her husband Chris in his office. Now, there were things that I did not understand. That he was talking about the fact that he was showing Sunni and Moses a house, and she was kind of complaining about the fact that um he should have talked to Destiny. And for me, I love the response that he gave to her. That's my business. I'm not going to allow Destiny to, because of Destiny's situation, I'm going to lose out on a business. I love the response he did give Nell, but I was wondering how deep is the friendship, or how deep has their friendship gotten with Destiny that Nell would think that Chris owed or owes Destiny, like he owes her not to be the person that would be showing Moses and Sonny a house to get in Huntsville. And when I was asking myself that question, she now wanted to, like, it seemed like she wanted to talk more on it, and she was like, you know what? We're not going to talk about that. I was like, you already started. You already started the conversation. I wanted to understand how deep the relationship was, because you just can't give me a hint, then you just run back. And I'm like confused at this moment, because I'm asking myself, how protective or how close are you guys at that you think that Krish owed Destiny enough not to be the one showing Moses and Sonny um a house? that didn't make sense to me. The first thing. Then when they kept on, when they started talking about their kids, and she said all the kids are always putting them in debt. They're always paying these bills or that bills. And they started mentioning everybody. Like I was surprised. I was like, all the children's name are in there that they have to pay bills for. I was surprised. And I started questioning some certain things. And the first thing I questioned was that allegedly, I'm not sure about it. Allegedly, people have been saying that Destiny is going out with Lance. Allegedly, I'm not sure. I've not really gotten a concrete, maybe a picture or anything. But allegedly, it's been stated that Destiny is going out with Lance. And I'm like, if Lance is still having to have his parents pay for some things for him, that Destiny does know how to choose them. She does know how to choose her man. Because if at that age that he is at and his parents still have to pay bills and a lot of things for him and he's dating somebody, and with all the things that Destiny has gone through in her life, like the divorce, her business closing down, trying to pick up from it, and that's the person then from that to Moses, and that's the person she sees to date, it's beginning to let me know that maybe Destiny doesn't know how to pick them. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But anyway, those were my point. Those were the things I saw. I didn't like the way that Nell was kind of humping on Chris, not to, for him not to have been the one showing Destiny, Sunni and Moses, and they didn't really explain how close the relationship has gone, and she just caught up the topic, then the situation with the children. So, what do you guys feel about Nell and Chris having that conversation in the office?
I didn't think that Destiny and Nell was that close. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I'm gonna be like for somebody I'm acquainted with. I'm not gonna tell my husband, "Hey, look, don't make that money because I don't want to offend somebody." Like, no, you do what you do, and I'll worry about the smoke. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like she was.
It's not like
It wasn't like Chris was gonna backstab her or anything. He wasn't being underhanded or sneaky about anything. No, business is business.
yeah.
So I didn't think that they were that close where she would even say that.
What about you, Chef Reality? What did you?
You know what? I was listening to her interview with Dr. Heavenly recently, and in that interview, I think
Okay.
she did say that she and Lance had gone out a couple of times. I believe she said that during that interview. And then she
Oh,
also said that she and Nell grew close. I think when Nell's had lost her mom, I believe she said that's when they started getting closer. So
oh,
I guess she was kind of close to them. And then, it just kind of gives some conversational piece because I think I would probably, especially if it's a friend of yours, I think it was a conversation that needed to be had that, now you're showing a house to these people. Why are they here? That's another question. Yeah, why are they in
yeah.
town and they aren't even from here?
Um, well, I guess we would have to see how that would play out because I wanted to really know what exactly is their relationship, and I didn't really listen so much to the Heavenly's interview that much. I didn't really watch it, so probably I'll have to go back to watch it because I was trying to understand how close they were they were right now to for her to be thinking that Chris would, you know, think about her before he's showing them the house. But anyway, um, then we went to Chris going to the house, waiting for Sunny and Moses to come over. I'm saying, then we saw Martell also there. This is the first time I have heard that there is a showing of a house and the owner of the house is there. I don't know, maybe that's how they do it, but I know over here, we you don't go to a house when you go with an agent and you see the owner of the house in the house. You only you only see the person that's showing you the house. So I was surprised that the owner of the house, the person that built the house, is also there. It's like the scenario was giving fake, fake, fake. Because why was Martell there? He is the one that has the house. So why was he there for the showing? But I just felt like they just wanted him to be included in the conversation since it had something to do with Destiny, and we know Destiny is his friend. But that aside, the whole conversation, Martell saying that he's in the middle, he knows that at the end of the day, they were not trying to, it's not like Moses was trying to play on Destiny. But the thing is that if now Moses is trying to play on Destiny, he's going to be on Destiny's side. How did you feel about the fact that Martell decided to be in the middle and not really actually take up this and take like, I'm going to take up for Destiny. Destiny is my friend. In comparison to how Destiny took up for him as his friend instead of Melody, and that in so doing her and Melody's relationship broke. How did you feel like now he's like, okay, I'm in the middle. I've heard the both sides, I'm gonna stay in the middle. I'm not gonna choose any side until I see that you're really doing something wrong. I'll be like, okay, I'm for my friend Destiny. Him deciding to be like, I'm gonna be in the middle and stick in the middle. How did you feel about that? Oh, shop reality, I know here. Let me for your girl, I know here.
Oh
Yeah, we're
yeah,
here.
him being
I was just
yeah.
waiting
I'm
for leaving for
sorry.
my girls. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just okay. I felt like he was saying that he wanted to be neutral. I think he was trying to prove a point, especially in front of Chris. Like, this is how you do it. You listen to both sides, and then you just, hey, you make sense of it. And, if you in agreement with it, you just stay neutral. You know what I'm saying? So I think he was just trying to prove a point.
Oh, okay. How about you, shop writing?
You know what? I think it was a fair assessment that he made, but he did say that if I guess if Moses does something to Destiny, then he's got a problem with it. But I think he was being level-headed and fair. And you're right, it is a TV show, and you're right. They are seem to be very purposeful of making sure Martell has something to do this season. Have you noticed? That they are
Yes.
Yeah.
putting him into all these, yes, they're making storylines for him or inserting him in other people's storylines. Like, I noticed that he keeps ending up in these situations, so they are finding something for him to do, like him being present at this showing, and then
Unlike
him
last
giving
season.
his yes, and then giving his 2 cents this time around. But I think it was a fair assessment that he made, that they're married now, and Destiny has
Yeah.
gone on about her business, says she doesn't care. But yeah, you're right about how it's different how she was going so hard for him, but he's much more level-headed about the situation.
For me, I was like, the assessment he gave was right. At the end of the day, they're married. Everybody keep quiet, move on, find your own better half like they have found theirs. Um, the only part I was like, you know what, it's gonna be painful because if I'm a friend and me and you were in this friendship, and for you, I really went to backs for you, I fought hard for you, and me, I'll be expecting the same thing to you from you too. If I was in that same situation and I ended up being in that same situation and you did not, you are like, okay, this moment I want to be, I want to have a sane thoughts. And I'm like, I'll be thinking, oh, so I was stupid enough not to have that same reasoning when it was your situation. That's what I was thinking, because I'm pretty sure that she would have thought that kind of thing, like, oh wow, when it came to your own turn, I really fought for you. I was there for you. I supported you, even when I know that those things didn't need supporting, but I did. And for you, you're like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Like, that'll be somehow. But one thing I didn't also understand was why he had to bring out Melody again. Like, why you had to talk about Melody and the fact that Chris was always being partial and always listening to Melody. But let's be realistic. Is Chris really always on Melody's side? Because it doesn't give me the vibe that it's always on Melody's side,
I don't
as
feel
per the
that.
accusation of Martell.
Yeah, I don't feel that Chris is always a Melody side. I think, like Chris says, he listens and then he states his judgment. You know what I'm saying? Right is right, wrong is wrong. No matter if you're my friend or you're not my friend, you know. And so I think that, you know, uh, Chris was right in his stance. He's remaining neutral because he likes them both. He tells
Mhm.
Martell when he's wrong, and he lets Nell tell Melody when they feel Melody is wrong.
Mm, yeah. Do you also feel like that Chris is also partial, or you feel like he's also level-headed? Separating.
I think he's just trying to sell houses, which makes sense. This is his business. If they want to look at a house, why not show them a house? And have you noticed that he always has his badge on? He's always advertising his business.
His
He
name.
always has a
Yeah,
badge on. Yeah.
he's a businessman first. He like when Nell was coming into his office, like the view of the poster of his office was like glaring at me from the from the screen. I was like, I know, I've seen it. Like he does so much advertisement enough from that show, and it's good. It's very good. Like I love the way he utilizes the fame or whatever thing he gets from the show. It's nice. I love that. Um, then we had Stormi. Okay, Stormi had a conversation with Martell in her warehouse. Mm. So this conversation, I think I have thought and overthought and overthink about this conversation because when I watched it, I was pissed off because I liked Stormi and I respect her. But I'm gonna say it that in this episode, I was disappointed in what she said and the comparison she made in this episode. The fact that I understand, I know last week we talked about her, the court case, and we were all here saying that she didn't deserve it, and we're like, it's good that it's according to her, it has been thrown out. We were all almost in defense of her, like no, that was not she was in the right to protect herself if she felt threatened. Now you saw your own situation. At least you said yours was thrown out because there was nothing. You saw your own situation. You know your classification of your DV, communication harassment that you were arrested for, right? And you were jailed for. Now you heard Martell's own. You knew his own is on a different level, and you stood there as you know what was coming to my mind. I was like, you stood there as a woman that you are, and you are also married, and you feel comfortable and you trust your husband, right? And you stood there and be like, yeah, I also was arrested for the same thing. People and Mata was buying into it. It was like, oh yeah, I always said it that some people can just make up that shit, you know. Yeah. And I'm like, how will you say you are Mattel's your DV communication harassment um charges is the same thing with Mattel? They're on different levels. They are the same crime, but on different levels. You can compare. That is a wrong comparison. And for her to sit down there, stand there and laugh it off with Martell and kidding, I'm like, you know what? You've been doing good, man. This millimeters be cray cray and giving an opportunity and be like, yeah, the millimeter be acting. Like, see, everything that Martell did is because of the millimeters. Like, giving an opportunity to blame or kind of say, oh, the millimeters be acting so much. And the reason why maybe his life is the way it is because of the millimeter, because you decide, like, no, I was disappointed in Stormi in this episode, and it pissed me off that in last week's episode, I was literally saying that she had she had the right to protect herself. And the fact that I stood there and be like, yes, she had the right to protect her business. And now coming to this week and you listening to what she had to say as a woman, that that his home was for literally a sex con, and you literally said we have the same charges. I was arrested for the same charges. How would she have felt if the husband caught me, her own husband caught me, did the same thing Martell did? Would she stand there and watch her fellow woman say, yeah, we did, we were in jail for the same crime, and laugh with this person? Like, do you think she would have been happy if the case was resolved and Melody was standing with Courtney and being like, yeah, you were arrested for DB, I was arrested for DB, and you laugh over it? And you kind of make Martell feel like, yeah, you're cool, man. Maybe, it was giving me like, I know everything that was done to you were just like, it was lies. Like, the way she was like, everything was just like, since she's the one that filed first, they will have to, respond to her before the case got thrown out. Like, it was giving like, I'm trying to justify that Melody did this, and it feels like Melody conjured the lie against Martell. Even if now, I don't know, when then when they were doing the case, shooting this particular scene, I'm pretty sure that the case hasn't been heard and the judgment has not been given, because now we know the judgment has been given. Now we know he was found guilty and he has been put on restraining order from Melody. But the fact that he was like, oh, she didn't want to be in the event, and our child had a spelling bee and she was literally sitting down in front of me. Do you think she's gonna miss out on her child being there for her child because of you? And the way she was, and she laughed. The fact is that she was laughing, and I'm like, what the heck are you laughing over, Stormi? What
Now,
the heck are you laughing over?
now,
Because
now I have to say, in her defense, when
yeah,
was this filmed? When was this filmed? We don't know
that's
when
what I'm saying.
this
This
was
was
filmed.
filmed before the judge,
Right,
before the
right.
yeah.
Were all of the details out at that time? And the information we're privy to is hearsay. A lot of the stuff that we're hearing, you have to keep in mind when this was filmed. We don't even know when this was filmed. Was this February, January? We don't even know when this was filmed. So it was like all of these details that is hearsay at this point, because there's a lot of rumors and stuff floating around. Was she privy to this information at that time? Was she privy to
Yeah,
all of this stuff that had happened since then?
I
I'm
would give it
asking
to
you a
her that
question.
then I don't know if she was privy to that, because then it was a lot of
Exactly.
gossip
So
saying that it
have
was
to
because
keep
of
that. We have to keep that in mind. And we don't know what was cut out of the scene. She said it was the same charge. Was it the same charge? She said it was harassing communication. That was the charge, is what she's saying. Was that his
yeah.
same charge? I don't think she was saying we did the same thing. Ha ha ha. I don't think that's what she was trying to
Oh, he
convey.
he too
And
was
we
for
have to,
DV harassing communications.
I don't know. I don't know. And I don't get into legal matters, but what I can say is that
They were
this
it's for the
happened.
same crime. They actually, it was the same crime. DV.
She said the same charge, not the same
Yeah,
crime.
sorry, not the same crime. Sorry, the same charge. Sorry.
Right,
I
right.
misspoke. Yeah,
But
the
not
same
not
charge. Yeah.
yeah, that's okay. But I'm just saying, like, back then, this was filmed months ago. So like all of this stuff that has
Mm-hmm.
happened ever since then, all the hearsay and stuff that's out, we have to consider the time that this was filmed. We don't even know when this was filmed. This may have been filmed in February. We don't know. So, like all of this information that has come out since
Mm.
then, maybe if this question were asked to her again at this time, what would her response be? So, that's just something to keep in mind. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Do you want to say something for your girls? Fight.
No, I mean, I agree with Shop Reality is saying.
Mm.
I didn't take offensive. I wasn't offended by what Stormy said. You know,
Yeah.
I think she was basically like, damn, we both got, you know, these charges basically almost for the same thing. Well, well,
Yeah.
yeah, under the same paragraph, you know. So I don't think she was being malicious or anything, you know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now, if I put it in place that she didn't know, but the thing is that I feel like sometimes there's one lesson someone told me when it comes to married couples or something that involved a marriage, do not put your mouth into it. Do not, even giving advice to married couples is a slippery slope sometimes. Again, that was what I was told. And I think that's the kind of thing, that's the doctrine I live towards to. Like, when it comes to marriage and marriage issues, if any of my friends that are married come to me with their issues, I'm like, you know what, leave me out of it, because at the end of the day, you might end up reconciling, and I will be the one that would bear the brunt of whatever. I might have said something that your spouse might not like. So I don't really put my mouth in situations like that. So for one thing, I felt like since you know this is about a marriage and you've known that this issue between Melody and Martell has been like a tug of war, it is always like you don't see it until you really, really see it. I felt like at least you should have thought about it and be like, you know what, I let's not even try to make it look as if um let's not try and make it look as if anything is on the same level at all. In short, I don't even feel like she should have had that conversation of being arrested for the same charges as Mattel at all. And I felt like even if it was producers, because most times these producers be acting funny, I'm sure that most of them don't always want to be in situation. And like you said, Chef Reality, that we've also seen that Mattel is always put in conversations, put in situations, put in all those things that some of them I don't understand why he's even there. I know some of those producers will be like, you know what, since you were arrested too for the same charges, like have the conversation with Mattel, even if she did not want to have it. That I will give her grace, but doesn't still move for the fact that I didn't like it. That's why I said I was overthinking it, because I thought that this thinking was what I thought about when I was watching the episode. But as the day was going, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give her grace. I'm gonna give her some grace until she talks about it. I was literally I checked. I went maybe to see whether she said anything on social media. She even came live on TikTok earlier at the day after the episode dropped. I think 3 hours after the episode or so. So I thought she was going to talk about it, but she was talking about another issue that she had with her business. So,
Right. And
um,
I think that she brought it up too because the mellometer thing, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And just to let him know that, hey, I'm going through this mellometer thing because he's been talking about it for a couple of years now.
yeah,
And then you have Marceau who talks about it, you know. So I think she brought it up like, you know, I've been attacked by the millimeters too, you know what I'm saying? And I don't get it. You know, what is a millimeter? I mean, I like Mel and everything. I think that she is like the bomb.com. You know what I'm saying? But
uh-huh,
am I the type of person to like just follow somebody to the ends of the earth? No, I'm not. I'm loyal to me.
yeah,
I'm loyal to me, and I'm loyal to things that I'm interested in, you know.
yeah,
And she's a strong Black woman, and I adore her for that. I adore her for having a backbone, getting it together, and not just sitting there and just keep taking it. You know what I'm saying? So all that, followers and I follow no one. Jesus, that's it. And myself. you know.
Yeah.
I think it's also just a small group of people who think that they are helping because from what I gather, some of them have said that they didn't like the way she was being treated by the rest of the cast, like early on. So I think that they think that not all of them, but the few people who have called businesses and reported stuff and called the city and things like that, I think that some
Oh,
of them think that they are doing things that are beneficial to her. I don't think she's aware of some of the things that these people are doing. I don't think she's asked, people, "Oh, call the city and say that they're gambling." And she's not doing
yeah.
that. But for some, say that again.
I was
What'd you
agreeing with
say?
you.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was
So
agreeing with
I just,
you.
you're agreeing with me. And I don't think it's a whole bunch of people. I keep saying I think it's maybe like 5 or 7 people who go and they leave negative comments under videos, or people who just take it upon themselves. I'm going to call the city. I'm going to report
Oh,
this. I'm going to report that. And I think for some reason they think that they are being helpful. And it's not okay when you're trying to do things that are, you think you're helping her, but then you are doing things to harm the other people and their businesses.
mhm, yeah.
So, like I said,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a whole bunch of people. I think it's just a small, and it may only be 2 or 3 people, who knows, that are just doing all this stuff. May not even be 5 or 7. I think it's like 5 or 7 who leave negative messages under videos, like under the videos that I was doing, because it was like the same way that they would write. It's like, you just changed your name, but I could tell the same way you're putting the sentence together. But as far as the rest of them, I think it's just people who really like her, admire her. Like you said, you admire her hustle. They,
Yeah.
did not like the way she was being treated, and they're just fans of her. But then they're just like a small group who are just doing things, and they think that they're, I guess they think that they're being helpful.
Yeah,
And
but
I
in
don't think that she's
reality,
sanctioning the things that are there doing. I'm sorry, say that again.
yeah, but in reality, none of that is really helpful. You know what I'm saying?
It's not.
It's kind of making everything just retarded. you know.
Yeah.
And I wish people would honestly look at this. It's a reality TV show. Don't take it literally. You're not on the screen. That's not your husband that cheated on you. That isn't your husband who had smart narcissistic remarks. You know, that that isn't your uh it's not your relationship. You know, some people have to learn how to separate television
Yeah. Yeah.
from real life.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't get it.
Yeah, it
And
just
I
seems
think
such
this
far
is for
fetched. Go ahead.
and I think this is for everything. If let's not only attribute it to love of marriage, it happens in everything that we see on TV. Every
Mm-hmm.
single thing. You see, like recently, I think 2 days ago, there's this beef that's been going on in the WNBA because I'm a huge fan of the WNBA between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, right? I because I really do watch the matches. I always get updates whenever anything is happening. Do you know that I've had to stay away from social media for the last 2 days because of the last matches they played? Because everybody, some of them out there are just being toxic. I'm like, some of the things you're saying is unnecessary. Like, you're not helping, you're making it worse. And these poor girls are just there wanting to play basketball, happy, you know, doing what they love, and you are spoiling it and you're ruining it for every other person. So I believe that it's not only to Loma Marie Huntsville specifically. I feel it's for It's to everything, like musicians, actors. It's always there. You know, the only reason why we're focused more on Love and Marriage because we are seeing it very well on the show. And now they're talking about it on the show. And they, you know, we've had the Melometers being mentioned like 4 or 3 episodes now. And but another thing I would want to say is that also the cast members to stop giving energy to the so-called people they feel like are um you know, should I say giving them issues in their life? Stop giving them energy because me, I believe that if you don't give someone the energy, the person will realize that I don't have time for you. Whatever you're doing, I don't see, I don't care. At the end of the day, you're gonna move on.
But haven't they
As
been
far as you
doing
don't,
that for the past but they've been doing that for the past few years, ignoring it, and it hasn't gone away. And this is
it
their
will never. I
reality
don't.
at this point. Huh?
But I don't think it will ever go away. That's the truth.
But now that they're bringing it to giving it attention, then maybe some of the people will realize, hey, wait a minute, I didn't realize what I was doing was affecting them this way. I didn't
Do you
realize
think they
now that
would
you're
do
talking
that?
about
Do you
I think
think?
that it's bring I think it well, some people I'm surprised because, I don't create content much anymore, and I'm surprised by some of the comments that I'm getting where people are saying, "Where'd you go? Why aren't you doing videos anymore?" And some of the people are some people who were leaving nasty messages under the videos that I was producing, and I was trying to be very neutral and non-biased. She's laughing. But now some
I'm
of those people,
sorry.
"Where'd you go? Where are you?" What?
You know,
That's
most
okay if
I
you're
feel
It's
like
laughing.
just it's just
the thing is that I feel
crazy
like
though.
people people might hate you or dislike you or but they still want to hear you. They still want to hear your voice. They still want to hear what you have to give or what you have to say. Just like we say, oh, most people will be like, oh, if Melody is not on this episode, I'm not gonna watch, but they still watch because they want to see what Latisha is gonna do in the episode, what Masao is gonna do on the episode, what Maurice. So at the end of the day, as much as people you feel like people dislike you, they will still want to watch you and know what you have to say. At least let them watch you and hear what they have to say before, so that they will have something to criticize and still, you know, insult you on. Yeah,
Well, can you
that's
imagine you
what I
being
feel.
well, imagine you being a business owner and you're trying to
Yeah.
bid on projects, and every time you get something, then there's somebody who calls, tells the people not to work with you, sends emails, contacts the city, the county, or the state. So that's why I said I don't think it's a bunch of people that's doing it. I think it's just a couple of people
What do
who
you
are
think?
doing
I want
this.
to, but I want to
Mhm.
ask, do you think that those things really do affect them? Because if I am a
Absolutely. Absolutely. It
really,
affects you if you are in the they're in the public sector and private sector. If you have a construction company and you're trying to bid on projects, government
mhm,
contracts, or even just public sector or private sector, and
yeah,
you're trying to bid, and then somebody, and these people who, that's why I say I don't think it's a bunch of people. I think it's just a small, it may only be 2 or 3 people, we don't even know. She has a whole lot of fans, but I don't think the fans are the ones that are doing this stuff. I think it's just a couple of people who are just rogue doing this on their own, but they're highly intelligent and very resourceful. So they know who to
what
contact when they contact the
what
city. They
what of
know
if
who to
it's not really, what of if, because there's this, I, you know, I'm a K
You're
drama
saying, what if
fan,
they're
right?
not even they may not even be fans of Mel, they just could be people who just decided
That's
just
the
to do
thing.
stuff,
Because
and
exactly, because
that's
I just thought
possible
about it.
too.
Yeah. So just thought about it because there's something they call anti fan when if you're in the K drama,
That's
K-pop
true,
world,
that's true.
you
Like
see people that,
Antifa, like Antifa.
yes, they're just like they are not fans of yours, but they just want to make people dislike you in a, like, they want to make people feel like you are the one causing all these issues for other people.
That's
So
a good, very
they might
good
not really
point.
be fans of Melody.
Point.
They might be just being there, like, you know what, I'm gonna make everybody feel like Melody is such a problem, or her fans are such a problem.
That's a good point. But to
It
answer
might
your
be.
question when you said earlier about just ignore them, they've been ignoring whoever it is, they've been ignoring for a while now. But this is their reality. This is a reality TV show. Why not address it?
Yeah.
If people are contacting the government or whatever about your business or doing whatever, then it needs to be brought out in the open that these things are happening to us. We can't do this because this is happening, or every time I try to do this, somebody does that. So that's why I don't think it's a bunch of people. Because how does a bunch of people organize themselves to do that? So now I'm starting to think maybe it is what you just said. It could be anti fans, just people just shaking things up just because. That's a good observation.
Yeah, because okay, but the thing is that when we well, I won't say quantify it the same because I know that Melody also does receive hate, although hers might not be up to the extent of people calling businesses, people doing whatever they are doing, like the way they do for the other cast members. But I do know that she has a very big amount of hate. But the reason why it's not evident, and I'll say it, I think Melody has the same amount of hate that or haters that the Scots have. But the only problem with Melody's own is that she has the same amount of lovers. So those lovers, when people start saying things about her, bringing trash about her, they are always like typing and defending her. So it's like, okay, it doesn't always make meaning because there's always somebody fighting for her. The only reason why I feel like those ones receive the pressure more is because they have those people that are hating on them, but they don't have that so much love to cover up that hate. That's why I view it because I feel like if today Letitia and Marcel would have enough lovers to love them enough, they will not be complaining of the hate because, of course, the people that love them will be fighting for them at the background, defending them on any social media post that has been made against them or any video that has been done against them. You will see those people fighting for them on the comment section, morning, afternoon, night, that they would not even be bothered and being like, you know what? Yeah, people are gonna keep them correct, whatever it is. But the fact is that they don't have that much love like Melody has, so they have to fight their own battles themselves, which is sad. Yeah, no, it's sad because you're watching somebody else. People are fighting the battle for that person, and you've been on the show. All of them started the show at the same time. So why does Melody have that much fans than I do? When I started the same day she started, we were OGs of the show, but she has more fans than us. So it's something that somehow can mess with your mindset.
I
So
think basically is because a lot of people can relate to Melody. There's
yeah.
more women out here on this earth than men. We all know that, right? Okay, so a lot of us have been in that predicament. We've been in that place where we've had kids and, we with dude and he just not acting right. And, he coming home smelling different. And, you know, you call him, he ain't answering. We've been through it, you know. So when it's put in your face every week of this person mistreating somebody else who they claim that they love, you know, our hearts go out, and we're like, okay, how is she gonna figure this out? What is she gonna do? Is she
Mm.
gonna go back to him? We're intrigued. We want to see how it's gonna end. So once we see, basically, you could say she's been dragged. Okay, she got up off the floor, she cleaned herself up. You know, she might have cried for weeks or months, who knows, but she pulled herself back together even better. Yay! That's the kind of stuff that I want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah.
I feel bad for, still, I feel bad for Martell simply because, he's stupid. He's young in the brain. He's not really mature, you know. and he leads with his, instead of the other brain, and so I already told you guys a while ago, he's going to keep on talking about Melody. He's going to keep bringing her up because he know he effed up big time. Look at him. He all skinny, puny, ain't really got a whole lot of muscle mass. He's just like wasting away. Them little legs can't carry that big head.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? He messed up, you know? So I don't know. I don't know. These are just my opinions and how I feel.
yeah.
So I don't need nobody coming for me. Well, I'm just saying I can take the heat. Oh yes, I can take the heat because I am crazy. you know. But I'm just
But
saying, and I didn't mean to laugh. I didn't want you to think that I was laughing at you, Shop Reality. I was laughing at all the stuff you said these crazy people are doing. I can't believe it. You know? It's like, get
Yeah.
get a real
That's why I
life.
don't think it's a whole bunch of people. I don't think a whole large fan base could organize like that or even get people to do all of that. So it just sounds like
Well,
it just may be just a couple of folks who just doing it just for whatever. I'm sorry, go ahead.
look, if I was that great of a fan and I had airplane mileage, I wouldn't spend it on going to Huntsville to chase nobody down. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, I don't
evidently
know if
that
they're
person
doing
must have
that.
lived.
I
Well,
don't think they're doing that. I think they're
Stormy
just
said,
making a call.
Stormy said
Oh,
the chick that came did she live out there? You know what I'm saying? Did she
yeah,
live
I
like in the
think she lives
nearby
out there.
city? Yeah, everybody wants to be a podcaster. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like buying a, a, a lemon car on the lemon lot. Buyer beware. This comes with the territory.
Yeah. But well, let's just see how it's gonna play out because I'm pretty sure that we'll see a challenge on that discussion, maybe in the part B of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm sure that later on we'll either see Melody challenge Stormy for what she said or how she said it, or the convention with Martell, and let's just see how that will play out. But moving
real
forward,
quick.
Kimmy
I'm
and
so
Maurice,
sorry. I'm so sorry. Real
yeah,
quick, real quick. I was listening to Destiny's interview with Dr. Heavenly, and Destiny said that something really, I guess, unusual or happened with one of the fans. I'm wondering what she's referring to. Do you think it was this incident with Stormy, or was it something else that we're going to find out that a fan of the show has done?
Oh, jeez.
another
I,
I
fan.
like, I don't know. Say that again.
Is there another issue with a fan again?
That's what I don't know. I don't know if it's this same issue that just happened with Stormy or if there was something else that had happened. Because in her interview, she said, just, there's something that we find out that one of the fans of the show, these are not her words verbatim, but something along those lines. There was some other incident that has happened. So I don't know if she was referring to this incident with Stormy or if there was something else. Hopefully there was nothing else.
yeah,
But to,
it's
back to what you're saying about this is reality. This is their reality. So why not talk about it? And I know some of the fans are kind of touchy about it, like, oh, they're making it a part of the show, but this is their reality. It's happening in real time. Like I had
yeah.
forgotten about that situation with the warehouse. I forgot about that because I think that was over a year ago, wasn't it?
I don't know. We just seen it
Yeah, that
about a
was over a year
couple of
ago.
weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. But her reality is she had to go through that with this situation, with turning herself in and everything. Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'm so sorry. Go ahead and continue.
Um, well, anyway, I hope there's nothing else because truthfully, if they want to, for me, I feel like if they want to talk about the millimeters, please bring in the millimeters really. Like, let's see those millimeters, you know,
Oh
let's
wow.
see
That would be
them.
something.
Anyways, let's go ahead and continue the episode. We saw Maurice and Kimmy meet up with Sunni and Moses. One thing I'm gonna say is that everybody is always talking about um this is somehow, but they are the ones always meeting up with Sunni and Moses. I'm confused. If you feel it's somehow, if you feel it's sketchy, why are you meeting up with them? Why? That means it doesn't feel sketchy to you. You're good with it. Stormy and Sonny and Moses met up with Kimmy and Maurice, and they were having a discussion. And man, the storyline of Moses, my God, that guy is a piece of work. But one thing I liked about him is that he exposed himself, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will start doing investigative journalism, because we have a lot of investigative journalists when we come to Lower Marriage Huntsville. So it's good that he exposed himself. I've been to jail once, twice, before people will start doing investigative journalism on top of his issues and exposing him. So I love that he exposed himself. Like, you know what? I've been to jail twice. I spent this year. I spent this year. I don't want anybody coming to say I know this about this person. So I love that part that he did talk about that. Um, but do you feel like because of the situation of how his life has gone, going to jail situations and everything, he felt like, okay, fine. I wanted to come out from jail this period and being like he said, when he came out from jail, it was like, you know what, I want to live a life that I didn't want to go there again. And I didn't see that in Destiny. Do you feel like he was truthful in that, or it was just a bunch of BS?
I think it was truthful. I mean, look, I had a brother that was locked up that got caught up in that three strikes thing, right?
Yeah.
When he got home, that boy was like, buck wow. you know, and it's a lot of things he wanted to do, but I don't think he was ready. You know what I'm saying? He,
Yes.
he wasn't mature enough to do what needed to be done or what he felt like he needed to do. He he went about everything the wrong way. You know, some people feel like when they get locked up, they're missing a lot, which in reality, yeah, you do. You miss births, deaths, supporting your family, uh, parties, birthdays. You miss everything. Technology is different when you get out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people move, they move on, families move on. When you get out, you got to kind of catch up, so it could be overwhelming, you know, but, he thought about what he wanted the time he was locked up, and he was trying to find that in Destiny. Destiny had lived her life. She had been married, had a baby, divorced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Destiny had lived her life, and it was things that he wanted to do that Destiny really wasn't that interested in, like settling down and having another baby. Destiny wasn't looking for that.
Mm,
So no, I don't think he was wrong.
mm. For me, I saw that he was kind of sincere. I'm not going to take away from the fact that what they did to Destiny was not nice, but the fact that he talked about how he has been in jail twice, and the second time he came out from jail, he lost a lot of people that he loved, and then he decided that, you know what, I need to get my shit together. I need to get my life together. I have to move on in life. I loved I loved that so much. I love that for him. Now I was not looking like, how did he now come to the conclusion that Destiny was not that person for him? Destiny was not the person that would take him up to that level. And I did understand because Destiny's life is not that black and blue right now. She has a lot of things going on that, you know, for we the viewers, we don't even know whether those things are resolved right now. So I did understand why he might think that Sunny was a good option for him than Destiny. What was your thoughts, Shoprite? Him saying that going to jail twice, losing a lot of loved ones, coming out and being like, you know what, I feel like Sonny was a better option for me than Destiny.
Well, I just recently saw Destiny's interview with Dr. Heffley, watched it again, and I've been watching her Mental Mondays and the other show she has. And she was implying that she thinks that he was what does she call it? That in a nutshell, he did this to spite her. Allegedly, something along those lines is kind of what she
Yeah,
implied. But who knows? Men will do that sort of stuff. Maybe in this stage of his life, he was looking for somebody who had their financial situation together. They have the same interests as the real estate, and maybe he did see somebody who he feels that he could plan a future with. Maybe they both did. Either way, I applaud him for making lemonade out of lemons, going having those two
yeah,
stints in prison, and now seems to be doing well and being successful. And they're married now, so it's their business how
yeah,
they got together. And hopefully, I think she's celebrating her birthday today, and they
yeah, she is.
seem very happy. Yeah, and plan on starting a family. So maybe she, at that time in his life, she was what he was looking for. And we all grow, we all
Yeah,
mature. Like what we were looking for in a
yeah.
mate, 15 years ago is not what we're looking for now.
No,
True.
exactly. That's
Like,
true. That
yeah,
part
like
is
when you're
true.
younger, you're looking for looks, superficial. What kind of car does he have? And now that you're older, yeah, exactly. Remember? Now
Yeah.
you want to know a lot more things about a person and how they treat their mother and sister, and how long have they worked, or they have a stable job, occupation, whatever it is that they're doing. A lot more things you look for. And then maybe in his case, because he wasn't having, well, he chose to help her out financially. I believe he was helping Destiny out allegedly. Maybe when he met her, she had her stuff together, and he was looking for more stability. I think that's kind of what he was implying, allegedly.
Yeah. Hmm. That I love that he, like me, for me, I've always been one person that I don't like what they did to Destiny, but doesn't still take away the fact that they were married, and they are married. That's the end. Nothing can be done. It cannot be reversed. It's not like you can go back to Destiny. It's not possible. But I love that he actually he exposed himself. He said his truth, because I know I said earlier on that there are some investigative journalists on this YouTube, especially when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville. So good on him for exposing himself before they decide to do an expose on him. Um, Lastly, in this episode, we saw the Fletcher family meet up. Now, that is a big, like, that was given. Everybody was there. Kiki, the Kiki, the child. I forgot Kiki, the niece, their daughter, Lance, and Chris were all there seated. And Nell was like, you know what? Apart from my grandchildren, I don't want any of you asking me for anything. Now, I really don't have much to say about this because I'm not a parent, haven't given birth to children before. So I wanted to ask, did you think that the way she went about it was the right approach?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, look, I thank God, I'm not saying I always have money available to me, but I know how to go get it if I really need it that bad. You know what I'm saying? But In Mel's case, you know, I understand how she feels, because there are times, with my own kids, I'll be wanting to say, like, don't you work? You
Mm.
know? I mean, and this is when they were younger. Now that are all adults,
Seems like your network is
yeah, I
breaking.
don't get that anymore. Now that they're older. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you guys? Okay. Yeah, I
I
don't
can
get
hear
that
you.
anymore now that they're older. Okay. Yeah. So I understand how she felt, you know, and did I think it was the wrong approach? Um, to her actual kids, I felt bad that Kiki felt bad, because, she didn't consider that Kiki considered her as like a mom figure, you know. I mean, because look, I'm a grandmother, I'm a great grandmother, and I basically adopted some of my daughters' girl or their homegirls. I adopted their kids. I'm always buying toys and clothes and, you know, baby stuff and, you know.
Oh,
So yeah, I completely understand, because it is going to take away later on in the future for their retirement. They're going to be able to call them kids and say, hey, y'all think y'all could bring me a bag of groceries over here? Or, hey, the car needs fixing. You think you can go fix the car for us? Or, we'd like to take this vacation. You think you could chip in? Everybody chip in? Like, is that really going to happen?
uh, I really don't know.
So I kind of doubt it.
Yeah. So you felt like she took the right approach in telling them, I cut you off, except for my grandchildren. I don't need anybody asking me anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's going to disturb anything that's going to disturb your mental health, you need to address,
Mm.
especially if you see an onset of it, you know, believe me,
Yeah.
when it comes to my mental health, I'm going to get everybody straight. I don't care whose feelings I hurt because you're hurting mine, messing with my mental.
Yeah. What about you, Shop Reality? Did you feel like she took the right approach?
Yeah, I think she did, especially since she said you guys are old enough now. I don't know how old the youngest child is, but the oldest son seemed to be doing well with his business. But and she did, I think, give him credit and saying that I guess occasionally maybe they help him out allegedly. But I could understand her frustration if they constantly have their hand out for something. And it sounds as though she and Chris are givers. If you hear their conversations and their interviews, it sounds as though they've done a lot for those kids. I shouldn't say kids, have
Yeah.
done a lot for their children over the years. And at some point, they need to be much more independent because you can't just keep giving to them because what are you going to have left? He's right, like we would be much further along if we would stop giving.
Giving
But then the
them.
one son said he got a job, so that was good to hear. He got a job. He said he's a supervisor. I don't know what the youngest girl does, but I do like the fact that the children are really quiet. They don't talk much. They just listened. And I'm
Mm.
interested to see that therapy session. They're bringing Dr. Francis back, and Nell says she's not going to do it. I'm not participating. So that's going to be good to see them sit down and meet with a therapist. You sound like a robot. You sound like a
Needs it.
robot.
You said?
You were sounding
Can
like
you
a
hear me?
robot. Repeat what you said. Now I can.
Really?
Repeat what you said.
Okay. I was saying that why did you think that Nell said that she didn't need that therapy when
I think
it's
she was
known that
joking.
all of them needed to be there together?
Maybe she was just joking. just joking because clearly she's going to be there next week when we see them. Maybe she was just joking. But I
Yeah.
like how they were very receptive. They were quiet and it seems like they were
Yeah.
listening. So that was
Yeah.
good. They seemed receptive.
I love the case for that because they did not. I expected them to argue a lot. The only person that kind of flared up a little bit was Kiki, and I did understand where she was coming from. She I understood her own point of view, but I love the way that every single one of them like was calm. They understood where they were coming from, and they knew that yes, this is wrong. That at this stage we are still asking you guys for money instead of you saving your money for retirement. So I love that the fact that they were understanding of their parents. And I can, like you said, I can't wait for us to see how the therapy section really goes next week. But you know what I'm loving about this season is that every single person kind of except for Letitia and Maurice and Kimmy and Masao, but every other person literally have a different storyline. Okay, and also apart from Martell, every other person has a different storyline, different from every other person. Like, yes, there's a general storyline, but individually they have their own storyline. So I love that.
Who has their own storyline? Who has their storyline? Let me hear you name the storylines.
I said apart
Name the
from every
storyline. Right, let me hear you name who's because the storyline seems to be all about that new lady. Like, who name the
wait,
storylines? I'm just curious to hear your take.
Stormy and her arrest and her mom issue. Um um the Fletchers with this their issue, the family, the children. I said except, then I said except Maurice, Kimmy, Latisha, Masao, because we haven't seen much of them this season, so I
That's
don't
true.
really
We
know their
haven't.
angle. Yeah. So I don't
That's
really know
true.
their angle for this season. So we've not seen them this season. So I can't really, that's why I said we don't know their storyline. So, but all the others, yes, we know that some of them, Millimeters is their storyline, but they have their own, thing about them that you be like, okay, yeah, this is what we're looking at. But before we go
Like,
ahead and
but who? But
end
who
this,
else? Like, but seriously, who else? What else? Name the other people. What is
I said
their
now,
storyline?
the Fletchers and
The
Nell
Fletchers, okay. Mm-hmm.
and Stormy, there's the arrest.
Stormy, okay. And then
Uh,
what are the other
the
people?
lady, the new lady,
The new
her
lady,
husband or
and now you
whatever.
see her husband is coming. Yeah.
Destiny, Moses and Sunny, Moses and Sonny, like they are each other's
Yes.
storyline.
And I like that storyline, but a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Destiny doesn't have a storyline." That's her storyline, and it's a good
That's like
storyline.
it's a good storyline. No, I feel like me, my fear is the storyline we end after the first half of this season, right? Then what will she show us at the second half of the season?
Well, yeah, that's a good question.
That's
What are the
that's
rest
my
of them
fear.
gonna show us? Yeah,
Yeah,
what is everybody else gonna
that's my
show?
fear
But
with
if these
Destiny.
people, if they're house hunting, are they trying to stick around? And like she said in a previous interview, she said they came to my city. Like, why are you guys here? You guys are not from Huntsville. You're from St. Louis. Why are you here? You're here
They
because
gave
the
you
storyline.
reasons. They wanted to be safe. They said they wanted a safe
Yeah, they
environment for the
did.
kids.
They did say that, but realistically, they're here for this storyline, and I think it's a good one. That's why I said I don't understand why fans are like, "She doesn't have a storyline." That's her storyline, and it's a good storyline. It's juicy to me.
No, for me, I love the storyline. It's juicy. We have something to talk about. But I know that there are other juicy things that Destiny could do. Like I see the thing is that I want to like
Like
Destiny,
what?
but
Come on, like what? If she didn't have the storyline, then people would be saying, "What is her storyline? She's not talking about her marriage. She's got nothing else going on." You have to admit that this time around, he came with some good stuff because, as I was saying before, it was the before it was the same old same, where they're talking
Yeah.
about Martell and Mel and their
Yeah.
situation and then how it affects everybody else. And then every time Kimmy walks into the room, she's mentioning Martell or Mel, and that was her job, just to bring them up. And there was nothing else going on in the show. When they went to buy the Jeep, okay, so he's going to pick out a Jeep for what's her name? Kimmy. It was just really nothing going on. But this season, there's so much going on. There's so many different storylines that are going on that are coming together. But this juicy, I really like this Destiny one. This is a good one for me. I think it's very entertaining. And I think
The thing is
Sunny
that,
knows what she's doing. She's producing herself, and I think she's doing a great job of
yeah,
it.
she's doing, and I think the reason why it is more enjoyable is because of Sonny is in the picture. Sonny has been a producer before she came on the show, and I think she knows what we get the fans being like, yeah, yeah. Because
Exactly.
a lot of people are like,
Exactly.
it's not looking like I was on the on X yesterday, and a lot of people were like, are they trying to make Sunny and Moses the main one of the main couples? Because the truth is that she is a producer. She knows what she would do to get you all talking about
And
her.
listen, and let me tell you another thing she commented in her comments. Someone asked about him not bringing the ring when he met with Destiny, and she commented it
Mm-hmm.
was in his pocket. So she knew he wasn't going to take the ring. It sounds like she was setting that up so that the fans would be like, "Oh, he didn't have his ring on." She knows what she's doing. So I just want to sit back and watch. Oh, living for my girls. I just want to sit back and watch and see what else she's going to do and what's going to happen on this girls' trip, because it seems as though they didn't know she was coming and they didn't know Destiny was coming. So can't wait to
Well,
see it.
I guess we'll see it play out. Next week we'll also see finally the ex or no, the real husband of Latricia. I mean Latricia. I'm always confusing her name. But anyway, thank you very much guys for joining us. Thank you, ShopRite, for joining us today.
Oh, thanks
A
for
lot of people are
inviting me.
like asking me, everyone are like, Shop Reality, where is she? I'm like, okay.
Oh, thank you
She's
guys.
going to be back soon. But anyway, thank you very much, guys, for joining us today. Don't forget to like on this video. Don't forget to click on the subscription button down below to subscribe. We'll see you guys same time next week. Have a nice day, guys.
Bye. Bye.